the beanies die in 12 hours. Links below. Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to the I Must Finish This Level Before December 1st series. I don't have a name for it, so that's what I'm going to call it. Last time, we made something pretty efficient, I gotta say, with all the spawn loops and such. I can reuse a bunch of stuff that I made in the last episode in this video. So if you like what you see, make sure you check out the other video too to learn where all this stems from. I think I kind of killed it last time. I'm going to use the scaling squares that we made last time for the next background. So I must remove that hitbox that I added last time, and here we are. Let's put this on a new editor layer. This can just sit under the ground, I guess, on a new group 37, which is going to lock onto the player's X position. To fill the screen with these, I need to scale hack them a little bit bigger and then move them out into a row like this, which can be copied downwards as well. So I need a bunch of these squares bigger than they currently reside. It's not the correct usage of that word, but I'm going to make it work. Each with individual groups, so 38. This is where the background locks on. So I need to move this square about 7 blocks to the left of that point and then up to the ceiling, which I can mark really easily. So this is actually a good spot, and I'm then going to count how much I have to move this object. So the first group 38 is going to have a movement right as we go through this portal, 11 blocks to the left and up. Ooh, do I make this ease out or bounce out? Bounce out will be fire, and we can make this a super long movement and actually start this whole process a bit earlier. Let's just have a little test here. Okay, so boom, we have our pulsing looking object there. Oh, this is going to be a weird process. I just need to copy paste it. Why are you spawning when I do that? You see, I never trust link controls. I just don't. Why? When I copy paste, does that block appear? It's because I've linked it with that block attached. We're copy pasting this object and then giving it a new group. And I need to do that until I've done this how many times? I think, to be safe, 12, which means starting at group 38, we need to end on 49, I do believe. And we need our move triggers to start moving it 20 blocks further to the right per trigger. And while this is undergo, I'm going to remind you about the limited edition WoW beanies that stop being sold tomorrow. Go get them. They're my personal favorite item that's in the store, and you shall not be disappointed. Be disappointed. So we should have our squares that bounce like that. Interesting. Very cool. Okay, let's go back. I'm gonna stagger these with a simple rotation. Yeah, there we go. So we have like a bouncy outline. Then I am going to copy paste the whole bunch on a new editor layer and build helper to set these to new groups. These triggers need to be altered in their Y to 90 instead, so 20 blocks lower. And these can continue where the other set left off. If I can maybe just figure this out. I probably should have... Oh, God. Excuse me while I backtrack a second so I can get these triggers vertically once again. We just need to make do with them being vertical until I've got the whole set in. So I'm just going to stack these to the ceiling and change their Y to 90. Same thing again. This must be 70, then 50, then hopefully for the last time, because this is becoming very group intensive, and this becomes 30. Then we select all the triggers at once. We can probably link these together at this point and just rotate around so they all go in order. So now we should have this sick background that bounces into place. Ooh, it's kind of weird looking though. So turning off link controls, we could actually snake this by making it go left to right, then right to left. So every second set is flipped. This might be more... Yep, that's much more satisfying to look at. I appreciate that. We could do some crazy exit plan with a back-in movement that sends them all away from the screen as well after they're done. So they've wiggled and then shoo. It's kind of lame. I'm also considering having some sort of on-screen presence for them afterwards, which could be done with like a quick movement like so to make them like flash across the screen. Okay, but what if we tried the exit easing off to the right side like this? Not quite. I decided to flip one side of the movement chain so the effect would peel off of the screen from opposite corners and meet in the middle, which took embarrassingly long to get right. I ended up using this trigger pattern in a much more interesting way after this step anyway. Right? Yes! Okay. I got what I wanted. I just need to get the right easing now. I tweaked the move times and the easings for around 10 minutes, and unfortunately my recording crapped out a little bit, but I do have the result recorded right here, and honestly, I don't think it could have gone any better. I'm just hoping that I can use double easing to create a cool on-screen effect here. You see, I'm moving them 600 in 4 seconds, but I'm also moving them back 600 in 2 seconds with a different easing, so hopefully, if this is all went to plan, I can have an effect that moves the object without actually changing its disposition. It should go back to the middle. Oh my god, that looks so cool! That's why you use double easing for on-screen effects, dude. That's so sick. And it's a black screen for my next transition. Oh my god. Oh my lord. And I can put stuff behind that as an extra background. Oh my god, the masking potential's insane. Alrighty, I took a break after that background. If my voice is gone, that's because I was at a Kendrick Lamar concert last night at the time I'm recording this, so...
Beat him up! Beat him up! Beat him up! Beat him up! I was seeing double in the projects, man, and myself,
I'm gonna go with font 7, I think. Just gonna put a lot of slashes in here, like that. If I copy paste it and move it another 3 blocks, you see it's like pretty much an equal spacing between. And then I should be able to just half space and it look pretty. Okay, cool. I'm gonna start on the bottom half of the middle. So this is 5 blocks up from the ground. I'm gonna lock to the x-axis on B4 behind everything using maybe the blending color channel that I made, number 3. Or in fact, we're gonna put black blending because we're gonna add pulses to these and then I can make it appear out of nowhere. So group 98, and then I half space downwards, copy paste, increase the group so it goes all the way down just until I reach the ground like so. I'm gonna put a block next to it and then select these objects, copy paste and flip, and then snap this object. Oh wow, it actually flipped perfectly on grid. That's nice. Now, should I flip these horizontally? Yes, I probably should. Neat. So now we have like a mirrored image on the top and we can copy paste this every 3 blocks. I can copy paste it in groups of 9 like this. Awesome. This should be pretty object efficient. We're gonna move it very far off the screen because I want these to move towards the player as well. So now we can work on the pulses starting with 98, obviously. So I just naturally started copy pasting it and moving it to the right, but I'm probably gonna stack these a little bit closer. What? Why can't I see these? Dude, I thought 20 was the new locking group. Oh, it's 37. I was like, why can't I see them? But they're just alphaed. Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so we need to increase the fade time and also increase the distance between each trigger because I kind of like the idea of it being a bit more of a roll. So the bottom's starting before the top one's finished. That's lame though. Okay, we'll rock with it for now, but I should also be able to add some other pulses on top. Maybe backwards and shift in between with a much shorter fade time and maybe opposite hue. Plus 180 for that. Like, yeah, you can get some pretty cool looking flashes here, but it's not as quick as I would have liked. Let's just make the fade time super short then, like 0.1s. It actually doesn't look that bad. I might be just coping, but maybe I could just individually scale these up to make it more intense. Like, that looks okay. Okay, so maybe like this looks the best on scale 1 times. And I can give it another group 108. I set up a rotation for 108 that has a pretty quick rotation time. And I can just make it freak out a little bit. Looks a bit like a glitch when I do that. That's sick. Alright, I dig it, I dig it. Probably gonna spawn loop these by checking spawn and multi, giving it a group, adding a spawn for that new group, spawn and multi as well on that same group with the 0.2 delay. So it's doing 0.1 and then nothing for 0.1 and then 0.1 and then nothing for 0.1. Just gotta spawn 109 real quick. Yeah, dude, that looks kind of good. I love accidentally making stuff that looks nice. It's kind of my signature at this point. And I wanted these to move, but honestly, I don't think I'll do that anymore. I'm just gonna pause it and go select the ones that don't make it onto the screen, which should be these. Oh, no, no, no. Let me just be careful with selecting. So I can probably make structures with text objects as well, using the same idea. Let me see if I can put blending on this as well. T2 and I can put glow behind. Nice and simple with black and a smaller black inside just to intensify that glow spot. I can give the text object the rotating group. Just gonna scale this down on itself as well. It rotates very far up and down. If I can scale this down far enough, I can find a point in the middle that doesn't move too much, which seems to just be that spot. And I'll put my saw blade there. An invisible black saw with a blending spot on top, maybe with a bit more hue. It'll work, it just looks weird for now. I'm gonna link it and then just scale it up and down here and there so we have like a cool little base. I made a new spawn loop to be repeated much more slowly for the saws to make them less of an eyesore. Get it? Saw, eyesore, and more of an intentional design. I'm not sure how I'm gonna play this, but I might just change the rotation like 1 second so it's a lot smoother and you can see it actually moving. I don't know. The easing might have to change, like bouncing out maybe. That works. It just looks really strange. I also set up a movement per saw, both on and off of the screen, to make it a more interesting obstacle. I was planning to add structures, but honestly, I probably won't because there's a lot on screen already. This is a really weird combo of back out for the movement in and then bounce in for the movement out. Makes no sense, I know. So this episode is probably a little bit short, but I'm pretty happy with the result I've got here. Doesn't quite match the vibe of the beginning, and the transition isn't quite there, but I'm pretty happy with what we've got. I love the glitchy kind of background. Reminds me of 20XX from Rocket League. We got big progress here, I feel. And that's the way I want to do this series. I don't want to force myself to make an entire part. When I think I've made a lot of progress in a video, I'll probably just cut it off like this. Just so I can stay motivated and not have to force things through. And my profile loads so I can do my outro, please, whatever. Thank you for watching this Geometry Dash video. Check the links in the description. Can I finish my intro before it finishes loading? Leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day. What?